Did you know that the average American home has around 300,000 items? That's a staggering number. With so much stuff, it's no wonder many people feel overwhelmed. In fact, a survey found that 54% of people say they feel stressed by the clutter in their homes. Minimalism is often misunderstood as simply getting rid of things. But it's much more than that. It's about living intentionally and focusing on what truly matters. A recent study shows that decluttering can reduce anxiety by 30%. Imagine what a difference that could make in your life. In this video, we'll explore the truth about minimalism. You'll learn why it's not just about having less but about finding freedom in simplicity. We'll dive into strategies that can help you on your own minimalist journey. From understanding the emotional ties to our belongings to creating a personalized path, you'll discover why minimalism is harder than it seems and how to make it work for you. Get ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about minimalism. Chapter 1. The Hidden Truth. Why minimalism isn't just about less stuff. Most people think minimalism is just about owning fewer things. But here's the twist, it's not. Minimalism is really about changing your mindset, not just decluttering your home. Joshua Becker, in his book The More of Less, explains that minimalism is about intentionally promoting the things we most value and removing everything that distracts us from it. That's why it's not just about tossing out stuff, it's about understanding why you own what you own. A surprising statistic from a UCLA study found that the average American household contains over 300,000 items. But removing excess items doesn't necessarily bring peace. You have to shift how you think about things in general. Instead of just reducing clutter, minimalism teaches you to rethink why you buy in the first place. One effective strategy is to ask yourself, does this thing add value to my life? This question flips the focus from, do I need this, to a deeper, more personal decision. Another tip is to try the one in, one out rule. Every time you bring something new into your home, remove something old. This forces you to prioritize what's important. But minimalism doesn't stop at physical items. It's about cutting out non-tangible clutter too, like toxic relationships or even apps you no longer use. So while clearing out your closet can help, the real work happens in your mind. Minimalism is a continuous process, not a one-time purge. Chapter 2. Mental Declutter. Cutting out invisible chaos. Physical clutter is easy to see, but mental clutter? That's trickier. Many of us carry around mental to-do lists, stress about things beyond our control, and overcommit ourselves. Author Greg McKeown, in his book Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less, says, if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. That's why mental minimalism is even more important than physical minimalism. Did you know that the average person makes 35,000 decisions per day? That's a ton of mental clutter. No wonder we feel overwhelmed. One of the most effective strategies to declutter your mind is to simplify your decision-making. For example, Steve Jobs famously wore the same black turtleneck every day to reduce decision fatigue. You can do something similar by automating small decisions, like meal prepping or setting a daily uniform. Another key strategy is learning to say no. Warren Buffett once said, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. This may sound harsh, but it's crucial. Saying no to tasks or commitments that don't align with your values frees up mental space for what truly matters. Meditation is also a great tool for mental decluttering. Research from Harvard shows that regular meditation can reduce the brain's default mode network, the area responsible for mind wandering and overthinking. Even a 10-minute daily meditation can help clear your mental space, making you feel more focused and less overwhelmed. Chapter 3. The Illusion of Control. Why less feels overwhelming. Here's the paradox. Even though minimalism is supposed to make life simpler, it can feel overwhelming at first. Why? Because we're used to having choices. In The Paradox of Choice, Barry Schwartz argues that more choices often lead to more stress, not less. When you remove things from your life, you also remove your sense of control. Suddenly, you have fewer distractions and more time to face your thoughts. That's where it gets tough. Take decluttering your wardrobe, for example. When you reduce your closet to just 30 pieces, deciding what to wear seems easy, right? But people often find it challenging because they're used to having options. The trick is to focus on creating systems that help you manage fewer items, rather than focusing on the loss of variety. Capsule wardrobes are a great strategy here. By limiting your choices to only a few versatile items, you reduce decision fatigue and gain clarity on your personal style. Another reason minimalism feels hard is because people don't expect the emotional attachment they have to things. Marie Kondo's famous "Spark Joy" method addresses this by encouraging people to only keep items that bring them happiness. But here's the catch: sometimes, letting go is emotionally draining. A study by Penn State found that people form strong emotional bonds with objects, especially ones tied to memories. So, don't be surprised if decluttering stirs up emotions you weren't expecting. A helpful approach to combat this is the box test. Place items you're unsure about in a box and store it away for 6 months. If you don't think about or use the items in that time, it's a sign they can go. This makes the process less intimidating and gives you space to emotionally adjust. Minimalism forces you to confront the fact that you don't need as much as you think. That's why it can feel tough at first. But by embracing systems like capsule wardrobes, the box test, and focusing on your emotional responses, you'll find it gets easier over time. If you're finding these insights helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on embracing minimalism in your life. Chapter 4. Minimalism isn't one size fits all. Designing your own path. When it comes to minimalism, there's no one right way to do it. Each person's journey is unique. This is important because trying to fit into someone else's minimalist mold can lead to frustration. As the writer Fumio Sasaki shares in his book Goodbye Things, minimalism is a personal journey that requires you to ask, what is necessary for me? This question is key in finding your own minimalist path. A good strategy to start is to reflect on your values. What truly matters to you? Is it travel, experiences, or maybe family time? Once you know your priorities, it becomes easier to let go of what doesn't align with them. For example, if you love traveling, you might choose to have fewer clothes so you can save money for adventures. Another effective approach is to start small. You don't have to overhaul your entire life in a day. Begin with a single drawer or room. Set a timer for 15 minutes and see what you can declutter in that time. Small wins create momentum. It's also essential to remember that minimalism can look different in different areas of life. You might have a minimalistic home but still enjoy a full social calendar. This flexibility can help you find balance and avoid the trap of feeling like you need to do everything perfectly. A great tip for customizing your minimalist journey is to create a personalized list. Write down what you want to keep in your life, both physical items and commitments. This way, you can refer back to it when you feel overwhelmed or unsure about letting go of something. This list serves as a guide to keep you focused on what truly matters to you. Chapter 5. Minimalism meets consumerism. The trap of aesthetic perfection. In today's world, minimalism can sometimes feel like a trend. Social media often showcases perfectly curated, minimalist spaces that can create unrealistic expectations. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you need to spend money to achieve that aesthetic. But as Courtney Carver, author of Soulful Simplicity, reminds us, minimalism is about letting go of the things that weigh you down, not about what it looks like. One of the biggest surprises in minimalism is how it can actually reduce the pressure to keep up with consumerism. A study by the American Psychological Association found that clutter can increase stress and anxiety. By embracing minimalism, you can create a calmer environment that doesn't require constant spending to maintain. One effective strategy to break free from consumerist patterns is to implement a 30-day minimalism game. Each day of the month, you get rid of one item on the first day, 2 on the second, and so on. By the end of the month, you'll have let go of 465 items. This not only declutters your space but also highlights how much you may have been holding on to. Another way to combat the consumerism trap is to practice gratitude. Take time to appreciate what you already own. Research shows that gratitude can increase happiness and decrease the desire for more material goods. By focusing on what you have, you may find that you want less. Finally, it's important to distinguish between needs and wants. Not everything that's marketed as a must-have is essential. A great tip is to give yourself a waiting period before purchasing new items. If you still want it after 30 days, then consider buying it. This helps you avoid impulse buys that can lead to clutter. If you enjoyed this content and want to dive deeper into minimalism, subscribe for more insights and tips. Your journey to a simpler life starts now.